I think it was a lot of pressure that G2 actually lost towards these objectives when they don't have that mid.
It's true. The reason we're still yapping is because we're gonna yap about champ select. Here we go. G2 really need to get back into this one. So what are some choices they should make?
Yeah, I mean, the banter in the first game was still Mundo, Kalista, and Maokai. I don't really see a reason why you would change up any of it.
Yeah, I think they're just going to go back to that. Ideally, you'd normally always take out this Kalista from Hansama. He's just one of the best early game ADCs in our league. And then I think also just the Varus ban back from G2, just a great first pick for Noah, also one of his best champs.
To me, in general, the G2 draft where they went wrong was that they had kind of a mix of a front-to-back comp and a dive comp.
Yeah.
When you have Aurora and Jhin, you really want to look for backline targets, but Ezreal and Alistar really want to play front-to-back, so they kind of had this disconnect. So I think in this draft, I would like to see them kind of have more of a similar style comp throughout.
But I could totally see GX go for a dive comp here as well. This time around, they got rid of the Maokai. They've gone for the Poppy instead as the ban. And there's still junglers up like Vi, top laners like Abessus. These champions allows you to just go for single target damage and you full send it.
It's interesting to me the Rell first pick, like especially when the MF is out, who I think is like the strongest pairing. And I do think it's kind of like a personal takeaway from Labrov, as he's always been kind of a Rell merchant.
Yeah, I think especially when the Alistar is out as well, the Rell kind of jumps out to you. And like you said, they could play a dive comp with Rell, maybe something like the Kai'Sa as well to go along with it. So yeah, will be interesting to see what they pair with this Rell. And on the opposite side, the Maokai, very stable pick for G2, was banned last game.
And they decided to ban the Poppy instead. So now the Maokai for G2 here, and they can kind of create a really easy front-to-back comp with Maokai Azir.
It's like a G2 classic. I think it's just a question about what we're building it up with. I mean, AD carries right now. Jack, what do you favor right now with both Ezreal, Barry's out of the pool, and also the MF from earlier?
Braum, wow. I mean, I think Ashe on 3 here goes pretty hard. Very strong lane with the Braum, and also just a very strong ADC in general. But you're kind of in the thick of it, Treat still in competitive, so maybe you want more of the ADC prowess.
I mean, G2 right now, when they've locked the Braum, they've already said they want to play a front-to-back comp, right? So if I'm the side of GX, I'm not going to win this front-to-back, so they lock in Pantheon, Taliyah, very strong mid-jungle combo that can take over the map. I like it.
And we were just talking about this as well. We're like, well, Pantheon's still available. We thought G2 was going to go for something like that in Game 1, but it's actually GX that's making an adaptation and super strong jungle mid duo here. We already saw a bit of Isma giving Jackies a bit more love in that early game. I think we're going to see a whole lot more of it coming with a draft like this.
Wow, and the Hwei from Capstairs. You really want to try to bully out this Taliyah early game.
Interesting.
He's angry.
The GIANTX, I mean, the thing is, it's really interesting to me is to see the Pantheon when SkewMond was kind of the one that invented it in
Exactly.
EU. And I do think, though, that they can kind of do the same thing that they did last game. They have a losing mid matchup, but you just send this Pantheon mid, and you camp Caps, and he dies.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I'm interested to see now. I expect the Kai'Sa to be banned away by G2, because it's an easy pairing for GIANTX to kind of play this dive comp with.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Noah will play after that. I think he might just play like a standard front-to-back-ish champ. His options don't look that good to me.
I think he could do something like Jhin. They already banned the Sigs, right? You just have something that can reliably help his team from range.
I like that, yeah.
Because after Kai'Sa's out, there's not really that many champs that can help your team. And the Draven ban, I mean, Hansama's one of his best.
The classic. I don't really think you would want to play Draven this game, if I'm being honest.
No.
It doesn't look like the hottest Draven game ever, but it's a respect panel.
Yeah, I mean, you do have a nice like damage distribution at least for it with the AP mid jungle, but definitely can be hard into the Pantheon Rell. It's gonna be the Kai'Sa ban as well. So I'm thinking Jhin, for me, is the one that like sticks out as a pick for Noah.
How are European Jins?
I mean, I like to call the champ Mr. U, Mr. Useful, aka doesn't do anything. He's just sitting back very far, doesn't do much.
Jhin is useful. Jhin is useful. Jhin is very useful. Like, I hate this narrative. Oh, he only has 4 bullets. He needs to reload. He is very useful, but his damage is like hit.
Okay,
like,
Mr.
And
U.
like, a root can change a fight crucially.
Yes, and we've also seen some recent good Jhin performances. Ice of
really
late
good
actually
Jhin.
had
Ice
a
was
really good Jhin,
crazy.
yes. Caitlyn coming through. I'm also paying attention to that now ban because I was thinking to myself, what would Lord like to first pick in a scenario like this with a potential dive comp? But he could just straight up go for the Sion, be that front to back, and have a super stock standard draft.
I hate Sion. I'm a big Sion hater. I swear that champ is so useless.
Okay.
I think Jhin is useless. It's gonna be the Jhin. Go, Noah, go!
Let's see if he proves me wrong then.
Oh, let's let's go. We have a little side bet going on. What do we think about...
Well, now the Jhin is
God damn it. Oops. I mean, mierda.
It can be a little low damage when you have this on both sides.
Yeah, that's true.
Jhin is a facilitator quite often, so when you see him in the bot side, you often want something in the top side as well where you can still have a little extra damage. Sion doesn't provide that.
Why is it a great Aatrox?
I mean, there's a lot of low damage champs on the side of GX that have to go into you, right? So it's really easy for Aatrox to just keep healing in the fights and soaking all the pressure from GX. I think actually the Jhin pick will be the difference maker this game. Ironically, if he's ahead and can actually do a lot of damage to their front line, I think they're in a good spot. But otherwise, their comp is so low damage on the side of GX.
Yeah, I prefer G2 drafts, unfortunately. I just like, for me, the Sion doesn't really make sense with the Jhin. Like, you really want someone else to carry you when you're the Jhin, so you can set them up for success. But he doesn't have that. And as we said, Aatrox.
So let's make a deal, right? Because if G2 wins the next game, you're going to stick around and then you can battle it out and see how useful the Jhin was. I like that. So I have kind of a split desk here in terms of who's going to win based on the drafts. What do you think, Jhin?
No, I think we're still all very much at G2.
Okay.
We're just split in terms of Jhin and Sion between these two. But make no mistake, I think we all think that G2 has a favorite one here.
Yeah, it's also a very easy draft for them to play. So I think they will be a bit more in sync than the last game.
Let's see.
I see Maokai, I see Easy.
Okay, Braum, Ooga Booga.
I'm looking at a couple of players in particular. I'm looking at Caps. I'm looking at Labrov. I'm looking at Lot and Jackies. Is that fair?
That's for sure fair.
Yeah.
We need to see a better performance on Caps because last week and today, it's been rough. And now he has a counter pick. He should be able to bully out this matchup. Let's see how he does.
I mean, it's the same, almost the same match as we saw against BDS. He played Hwei as well.
Yeah.
That's where it went wrong too. Got back into the mid game, but let's see if they can take it back this one.
And we're in the game, so let's kick it over to our casters. Let's go.
Thanks very much. Analyst desk. They have all done a very good job of bigging up G2.
Complaining. Oh,
They've been, also that. They're like, oh, this G2 draft's so easy. They've got to win this game, etc., etc. So, as we know, caster curse exists. Do you think analyst desk curses exist? Oh, no. Of course they do. AV has a lot of experience with analyst desk curses. I think GIANTX win just because of the curse, guys.
And I was going to say, like, Chronicler votes against T1 every Worlds, and it doesn't work out for him, right? So.
Yeah, he is a T1 fan, though.
Is he? I thought he wasn't a T1 fan.
No, he's...
Oh, he is. So.
It's one of those... He is, as all of the LCK guys are, incredibly biased towards T1.
Oh,
right?
sorry.
Obviously.
My bad, yeah.
They're always biased towards the team that's winning at the time. It's a strange thing with casting where you're always talking more about the team that's winning.
Yeah, it's like they have more control over the game.
Yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, G2 looking for a late invade here. Jhin gets the knock up onto the Labrov. Ignite is ticking, and G2 will be forced away.
In the grand scheme of things, though, heal for a flash, you're going to take it as G2, so not the end of the world. You get to walk on out. Labrov able to pop a pot, so he'll be healing up nicely, so you don't end up missing out on too much. But I do like the idea from G2. Like, this is a composition that has so much value in the level 1, especially with the Braum, so looking for it, but not able to find too much.
Yeah, we talked a little bit in draft about the Caitlyn and the Braum, and you kind of predicted it when you saw the Ziggs ban coming out. What is it that you think Caitlyn really gives you for G2 here?
I think a lot of it is just about push. And when you got the counter matchup with the play in the mid lane, you should be able to push in effectively against the Taliyah once you kind of hit level 4, level 5, and you get a couple more points in your queue. Do we get the all-in?
Jhin's just going to land the stun. One more auto attack on him would have that concussive blows proccing. Good dodge from nowhere there from the Piltover Peacemaker, just steps to the side of it.
But this is kind of what you want from G2's bot lane. Like, you have the control over mid. Okay, let's get control over bot now, play aggressive, and look to start taking and working through these turret plates, because Jhin is fine at trying to push these waves out, but certainly with the range advantage that you have in the auto attack discrepancy there, Hansama should be able to put some hurt on towards Noah and just try and play heavily through this bottom side. So SkewMond already moving up towards this top side though.
Where is Isma going?
But yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think Isma's here to find him.
Through the lane. He's looking for the Maokai. Spotted on vision. We'll start up this red buff. You can see Jackie's moving across as well. Lot has the push in top, so he's going to be first from the top lane. Caps, as you say, is quite low. 250 HP on him. Isma flashes forward. Broken Blade flashes away. And survives. 40 HP enough for him. Dodges out of reach of Isma's spear.
The red is still there though, so you could always just go for the repeat play here as Isma, but looks like with his flash burned, he just wants to back away. So both flashes on the top side of the map for GIANTX burned. you still get the red buff for SkewMond, and it's only the flash on Broken Blade burned. So it's going to be more a case of, can Isma now work through some of these burned summoner spells and make value out of them, or is it actually just, hey, SkewMond got pushed off his red for a little bit, and it's actually Isma who's slow on the clear?
Yeah, he is only just going over to his blue right now. We did miss something in game 1, by the way. We thought it was going to come up last week, which is why I was a little bit slow on the trigger. Hansama got 2,000 kills in the LEC. His first kill in game 1 was his 2,000th kill. Looking to make it a few more here as Noah and Jhin fall low underneath the tower, but good stuff all around. Probably the standout performer for G2 in game 1. Did pad his stats a little bit at the end. Played the Ezreal well, obviously, but 2 kills as the enemy fountain dives you is...
Yeah, but also the 2v2 kill was kind of the big setup there, and we thought that might have been where G2 could look to play through, but unfortunately weren't quite able to. Now kind of doubling down on let's support Hansama, and you can see here getting a good amount of pressure on that bottom side. And Labrov spots Isma.
Yeah, gets the Winter's Bite for the slow. Isma had to give up on his Razor Beaks. His bot lane low as well, as is Jackie's, so might be contested over his Krugs. Looks like SkewMond's going to go the other way.
And this is the other thing that the Caitlyn does give you is a lot of freedom in that bottom side, especially when Jhin doesn't have flash. It's very difficult for Rell to close that distance onto the Caitlyn to actually punish her as she's pushing in, so it opens up Labrov to roam, but Jhin now roaming mid, recovering.
Caps, knocked back, does have the flash, good fear there. With the Grim Visage, will force Jackie's away. But Caps does have to burn the flash in the end. Jhin had Ignite, and if he could have got in range, probably could have taken down the Hwei. We see GIANTX the first ones to go for the lane swap here as they move Noah and Jhin towards the top side of the map.
Yeah, so trying to get them out of what has been the not nicest of lanes there, as the Caitlyn has very much been able to push in consistently to control that, but going to be matched here. So maybe you just try and rotate around again as GIANTX and keep out of this matchup, but it is opening up Jhin to get some vision, but Labrov spots him out.
Jhin's going to be so mad. It's like, just put down that control ward, please. Please, Labrov. That was 75 of my well-earned early game gold to try and get that. Isma eats a Bramble Smash, but Jackie's with the push in mid should be first to move. As they try and take these Razor Beaks away, good severing bolt from Caps. Isma jumps back in, Concussive Blows a risk here, seismic shove a little bit slow, and GIANTX will call off the play again.
They were trying to play off of Noah having first move on that top side as he pushed in the wave, but not in a position to follow up as quickly as he would have liked Jackie, so it's just going to be these Void Grubs started up, and if you're G2, I don't think you really want to try and contest this right now. Like, you're flashless on Caps and on Broken Blade on the top side, so just take it easy, just look for the push instead, and see if then you can maybe chip away this turret plate from the top side.
But GIANTX do what they wanted, move their support AD up towards the top side, take away 2 grubs only, it seems, as with Labrov moving down and Hansama able to move from the wave as well. They won't go for any more. Broken Blade having a whale of a time here against the Sion, just getting those grass pops as often as possible, stopping the decimating smash as well, but lots farmed up well in terms of the Slayer stacks, already at 220 extra HP.
You can see it's not a fun time as Sion. Every time you try and set up with that decimating smash, you just immediately eat a Darkened Blade, but as the game starts to go on, it's going to be more about Loss being in position for team fights and providing that front line, because you kind of heard the Des talk about it, like Caitlyn is not exactly a tank killer, so you're trying to rely on the Hwei, who has some percentage damage in his kit, but also not fantastic at killing the Sion. So I think for GIANTX, it's, hey, can we try and play through this strong mid-jungle, lean into especially the level 6 hits for Isma, like side lane plays off of that double semi-global ultimates, and then try and take over the game where we end up just snowballing through our damage so effectively that Lot becomes that impenetrable front line.
You see Lot using the Unstoppable Onslaught to get towards that top wave a little bit quicker. BB doesn't have TP, so Lot will be trying to make him lose a wave as he catches that wave in top, but I don't think he's going to be able to get that one in too quickly. So once again, in the early game, we see GIANTX, you know, able to pick up a little bit of a lead, very minute, but G2 playing the map ever so slightly better. Spiraling Despair gets the slow, Winter's Bite for the follow-up, but a good seismic shove will keep Caps away. Grand Starfall in by Isma. A little bit of a waste of an ult, but if they had kept going, could have been great.
I think it was a bit unnecessary because Jackie's still at the flash, whereas Caps doesn't. So now that ultimate's down for what we were talking about, that like potential for Jackie's and Isma to play off towards the side lane, especially towards Noah. Also with the Dragon still up and available on the cards, not having some of these tools to threaten elsewhere on the map going to be a little difficult.
I wonder how GIANTX is going to play it, because right now Jackie's is working his way down towards the bottom side, has that Weaver's Wall, but Seems like he is just going to go mid and catch the wave. A couple of pings coming out from G2 being like, hey, Jackie should be here on this wave. He's not right now. And you can see G2 walk into the fog of war, clear out some vision, and then can step back as soon as they see the GIANTX mid laner appearing again on the map.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest issue, is like how effective Jackies can be from that mid lane. At least Caps has his flash coming back up, so you're less nervous of Isma and Jackie showing up there, so you can contest the wave a little bit easier. But as soon as he disappears, especially Hansam and Labrov, like, you've got to be so careful, because you can see where they are on the map, right? Like, your whole job here is shove waves indefinitely until that tower falls. But when you've got that double semi-global ultimate, the threat and the ability to do that becomes so much more difficult, which is why I think Isma burning that ultimate early lessens so much of that threat and opens up for Hansama to be that much more aggressive at the bottom side.
Isma trying to sneak away this final grub while his top laner was resetting. We've seen a couple of times, like, GIANTX keep looking for something towards bot. Like here, Lot recalled out of vision just around the corner in that top lane, and then started to path down towards bot, being like, hey, if Hansama and Labrov keep pushing, I can just charge into this lane. And then we saw the same from Jackie's going across, being like, can I, you see him hovering right now, it's like, can I Weaver's Wall? Can I get down here? A lot of pressure being put by the G2 bot lane, as we expected because of the push that we keep talking about, but GIANTX aren't able to really find a way to punish it as of yet.
I don't think you have to punish it necessarily, though. I think it's just stopping the push. Like, okay, Dragon, bit of an annoyance to lose, but it's only been, what, a turret plate gone to that bottom side? When you're Caitlyn, you want this turret basically gone by 15 minutes. So the fact that you haven't actually been able to snowball an effective lead is a win in and of itself for GIANTX. Now, I still think, like, you need Jackie's, well, maybe now, to get some early kills so that he can be that carry, but these are the kind of things where it's like, okay, I don't mind if you don't get the lead, it's we're stopping this Caitlyn from getting to a mid-game where she is powerful.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, and they're doing that okay. Only 120 gold between the two AD carries right now. And it's still only 10 minutes into the game. Not, we do have proactive junglers in the form of the Maokai and the Pantheon, but neither of them mind as well if they get to this point without getting a kill. I think Pantheon would be a little bit more upset after he burned his flash early on to try and kill Broken Blade. Wasn't quite able to land it. Caps here with the Gaze of the Abyss will land a bit of damage down onto Jackie, who answers in kind with that Weavers, not Weavers, what's it called?
Boulder Toss?
Threaded Volley. It's not called Boulder Toss.
It's Boulder Toss in the second one. Oh yeah, that's it. I think because I think it does change the name of it when it's the second half.
Oh, is it a Boulder Toss? Okay.
Maybe.
I mean, that makes sense. It definitely does, but I've just never learned to change name, as Weaver's Wall will be used by Jackies to get away. I kind of hope that the audience at large doesn't expect me to know all of the transform names of everything as well. Trying to learn Hwei's 11 ability names caused me a lot of grief.
I think it would just take you an afternoon. I don't understand. You just don't care.
Yeah, I'm just lazy. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You my boss?
No comment.
Oh,
no, it's just
an empowered active, is it? Oh, interesting.
There's a boulder. Okay.
Interesting.
The boulder is italicized though, so maybe it's just called boulder.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. And then you can use the Shrek quote. It's a nice boulder.
I love this boulder.
That is a nice boulder.
Both the top laners boxing waves, as they are wont to do. Isma looking for Labrov. Glacial Fisher coming down as well, and Isma and Jhin in a 2v3 right now until the curtains open. Nature's Grass coming out. And Jhin pays for his jungler's arrogance, really, there, stepping in. They thought with the curtains called they could do a little bit more, but first blood over to G2.
Yeah, nicely done by G2, but as you say, like, Isma, there was no reason for you to try and contest that, especially with the numbers disadvantage you had in the push in top. So a little bit of a whoopsie does end up giving over the life of Jhin, but in this position, I mean, G2, it's a nice kill going across, but it's not really going to net a huge amount. When it comes to objectives, you're still going to be able to contest this for the point crops.
I think importantly, though, it does get Caps a bit of gold under his belt. You can see he's about 530 gold ahead right now. He'll be very happy having finished that Blackfire Torch. If he can get to 2-3 items, like Hwei can absolutely decimate team fights. Spiraling Despair against a relatively squishy lineup, only the Sion obviously tanky. on the side of GIANTX, it can do a huge amount of work.
Yeah, I think it's just the fact that you don't have something like a Vive for me that kind of sets up for a Severing Bolt, makes him a little bit less threatening.
Yeah, I get that.
Because when I look at these fights, it's like Lot in front line, Isma, even with the Eve, being able to annihilate a lot of the damage, or nullify, sorry, I should say, a lot of the damage that Caps wants to put through as well. So I think you do have tools to try and play around it. And as well, even getting into some of these fights, if you have like no opening up from long range or Isma being able to jump onto, I think you can make things a little tough. So not saying that Caps will have a bad time, it's just that operating as valuably as possible as a play in these fights can be a little tough.
G2 are going to try and contest this. Broken Blade has not moved at all, whereas Lot has. Unstoppable Onslaught coming out. The Magnet Sword follow-up, and SkewMond is down. GIANTX will get their first kill of the game. They'll get all 6 grubs as well.
Nice. Good job by GIANTX, shifting Lot towards the mid lane to make sure he was in a position to get that separation of the fight so G2 couldn't follow up. Now, Broken Blade was just able to get the tower on bot lane, so at least G2 opening up the map and getting a lot of gold for Broken Blade in the equation. So it now is a case, can GIANTX use these 6 Void Grubs to their advantage, or will that be a lot of gold into Broken Blade's hands that he can look to carry with?
Yeah, G2 have relatively good wave clear, like Caitlyn with the Piltover Peacemaker can clear out waves when she gets to 2 items or so. Caps, obviously, Molten Fissure does a huge amount of work when you want to get these waves down. There's a Spiraling Despair, Seismic Shove away, Severing Bolt, good dodge from Jackies, wow. Okay, able to walk out with that huge slow on him.
Yeah, a lot of damage though gone on to Jackies. The fact that he just barely managed to dodge it away was nice, but still fills you with a little bit of fear as to exactly what Caps can do. Still though, now G2 got to be in a position where they can try and play off of that pressure on the top side, move the Maokai up into covering for that potential play. You can see Jhin trying to match that on this top half and protect his mid lane.
Interesting that they're playing, I mean, it's topside Scuttle, I guess. With the Dragon up in, well, now, I was expecting G2 to want to play a little bit more around the bottom side, and that's where SkewMond's begun to move. Lot catching a wave behind the tier 1 as G2 have a lot of members on this side of the map, and GIANTX don't have any, so Lot is in a precarious situation. It might be a between the towers play. Instead, he's putting on his best cosplay.
Is he out?
As he looks to pretend to be a wolf.
No way.
You can't catch him, man. He's a wolf.
And you get the top tower for it. Like, Dragon will be taken, but the fact that Lot managed to escape there is incredible. As GX, yeah, they get tower, Dragon gone, 2 dragons, I should say now, for G2 as well. So definitely a little bit of nervousness around those objectives, but still.
Yeah, I think for GIANTX, they're happy enough that they got the 6 grubs, right? It's that exchange that they've decided to make. Lot getting out is huge for them as well. Not giving over that extra gold alongside the objective. GIANTX will want to play around the next couple of Drakes, obviously. With it being Infernal, you don't want G2 to get to an Infernal Soul with that Hwei or even the Caitlyn. Can just do a lot of damage from long range. Jackie's here looking for Labrov. SkewMond as well. Seismic Shove will get the stun back onto him with that Unraveled. Double TP's being used. Glacial Fissure coming out. There's the CC follow-up onto Labrov, who tried to save his jungler, but can't save himself. He will fall first. Jhin takes it into Portal Combat, and G2 begin to back away. Noah clipped, ace in the hole. Not enough, as the Severing Bolt does not connect.
The Severing Bolt and the artillery fire from Caps meant that Noah wasn't able to open up with the curtain call as much as he'd like to. So that could have gone very
He just stepped straight into them. He still had flash. Caps is down. Broken Blade short to follow. G2 just lose their minds.
What just happened?
He walked into a Seismic Shove is what happened.
I'm just... Like, there's moments when you're casting and you're just like, oh, okay, like, the fight is done. I'm going to back away from this and just, like, talk about, like, there is 0 avenues in my mind where Caps just walks into that.
Yep.
But like, so we see the fight here, like it's a flick back from SkewMond. Jhin manages to get the Shattering Strike as the engage comes through, so SkewMond is forced to flash away. But Noah, who opens up with the curtain call here, it's the pressure from Caps with the Severing Bolt that means that he's not able to follow up. So GX have to play further into that top side, so can't fight on towards Caps and Broken Blade in the bottom half of the fight. But here I was like, oh, okay, this fight is over. There's nothing more happening, but yeah, Caps way too far forward trying to get the play on towards Jackie's and sets up for Isma to follow up.
Just way too far forward there from Caps. Good one, Rob.
Thank you.
It's a good joke. Oh, Labrov got out as well. Shadowing Strike coming out. Labrov pops the Unbreakable. Can stand beside SkewMond, but the Decimating Smash coming out might stop him in time. Okay, all credit to GIANTX, but G2 have absolutely lost the plot. These last sequence of plays have been diabolical from them. GIANTX playing into that home field advantage now have a 2,500 gold lead. It is looking pear-shaped at best for G2.
Yeah, I didn't realize the burst tire was going to be a metaphor for their gameplay coming into today, because it has not worked out well. Now G2 trying to hold on towards the mid tower. You got the push that's coming in onto the bottom side. A ton of vision that's gone into that bot side jungle. But again, like, you're still getting at least towers for G2, so they are getting some control on the map. But the fact you're seeing this gold lead open, 2.3k, pushing slightly more as you imagine GX going to get back onto the map and start to look towards things like Rift Herald. Like, this is where it gets very dangerous.
Really does, especially, like, they talked about it on the analyst desk. They said, I think the Jhin might be the difference maker if he can get ahead. He's rapid fire Yumu's complete.
And I mean, you can see the GIANTX fans losing their collective minds in the stands there.
I mean, they're not the only ones. There's 5 players on the map who seem to have done so as well. Jackie's has been absolutely on point with those seismic shoves as he does catch out Labrov. Rift Herald started up for GIANTX. G2, I mean, if you're going to fight it, you've got to have BBTP in, but they decide against it. They'll back away with Labrov at half HP. The Rift Herald will be secured for GIANTX. They will get the enhanced booties as well, I believe, from that, because it's their third objective. And they have the 3 kills first.
But think about how difficult this becomes to play now as G2, because as soon as this mid lane tower goes down, you've got double this Pantheon ultimate that can either play up towards top or down towards the bot side. So you're always going to have to keep pressure, especially around this Taliyah. And you can even see Isma is hovering around the Taliyah at the moment. But it just makes it incredibly hard then for you as Caps to step up, because suddenly there's a Pantheon underneath the tower with all of that CC. You don't get to play the game. Even if you try and push forward as Broken Blade and use the kind of advantage you have through the matchup, you still can't, because Isma can show up, or Jackie's can show up,
or Lot can show up. Like, there's 3 ultimates that obviously Lot's is a little bit harder to navigate through the map, but I'm pretty sure he's watched Fast and Furious a couple times in his life. He knows it's all about family, and it's all about finding those drifting angles. Drake up in 26 seconds. We talked about this as something GIANTX had to fight a couple of moments ago. That was before they were 2,500 gold ahead. So I think this might be something G2 decide not to fight now, and GIANTX may just get it for free.
Yeah, I think you're right. The way G2 are set up is they look like they're contesting, but Broken Blade is still pushing in that top side. But, oh, that was nearly the deadly flourish from no one to Hansama, with Jackie's waiting in the wings. So Herald going down, looks like mid lane tower before the Dragon seems to be the call, as BB looking for the tier 2.
It's the classical play, right? You go with the Rift Herald in as the Dragon spawns, you put the pressure on, Rift Herald will get the charge in, good Weaver's Wall will lock out G2. There's the tier 1 in the mid lane for GIANTX. Now they can turn their attentions over to the Drake. Isma tried to ride the Herald, but she was not long for the Rift.
Jackie's
on the flank, flash forward, seismic shove, Nature's Guard's coming out as well. There's Magnustorm to follow up. SkewMond dashes in with a twisted advance, but the Spiraling Despair's going to do a lot of work. Jhin is the first to fall, and now Jackie's is the second to go down. GIANTX a little bit too greedy, a little bit too deep, and they might just lose 3. Broken Blade comes in with the World Ender and ends Isma's day. G2 fight back.
Jackie's didn't get onto the carries with that flash forward. Hansama managing to sidestep the flick back, which means it's just SkewMond who ends up setting up, and even on the back, Noah getting locked up in the curtain call means he couldn't really follow through, and G2 desperately needed that team fight win. You see as Jackie's goes forward, he's looking for Hansama, but Hansama doesn't get connected with, and even that last Tendro locking up Noah in the back, which means when the curtain call is finished, he can't move forward to really take this fight. Caps is able to push up in front of Lot and just continuously hit on to key members as the TP comes through from Broken Blade as well. Just unfortunate from GX pushing that a little bit too far forward.
Yeah, it's that risk of really group fights against the Hwei as well, right? Like, it's just so much damage from the Spiraling Despair. It was a good Nature's Grasp out from SkewMond, good Glacial Fissure out from Labrov to stop the play from really happening, and now G2 back in this game a little bit. Still a 1.2k gold lead for GIANTX, but sole point for G2. 2 items on their carries, 2 items as well on SkewMond, who has gone for the Unending Despair as Labrov caught a little bit here. SkewMond jumped on as well. Good double knockup. Isma should be able to make the tree go timber. He runs towards the top side though. Phase rush. Not enough. He phases out of existence instead. GIANTX once again with a pick Is it Buttercon time? That would feel very greedy.
I think you kind of need to get something out of it though, because you use Jackie's TP to get to here, and also then the ultimate, so... But it looks like they don't want to try and overcommit first. I wasn't sure still as you had Jackie's... the Weaver's Wall still to separate out the fight, and Isma's ultimate to try and close the distance that you wanted to look for something, but... Yeah, GIANTX, at least they're finding the picks, and they're doing a good job of finding these picks. Like, G2 are trying to force their way into getting the vision that they need to allow Hansama to play aggressive at mid-wave, but GIANTX were doing a decent job of stopping them.
Broken Blade dashing forward here, doesn't have the flash. It's Labrov coming around the corner, so he has a bit of support. GIANTX playing through the top side to make sure this wave is pressured. They can deny vision around the Aatrox, just deny G2 access to their own jungle, and it looks like it is going to be maybe a 1-4, 1-3-1 split, but only located on the top side of the map. 3 people in the jungle, 1 in mid, 1 in top, as GIANTX tried to deny G2 as much as possible.
But I think this is the right call from GX. Like, again, their value in their picks is the semi-globalness of it, so being able to control this topside jungle just makes it way easier to immediately commit to a side lane or immediately commit to the mid lane if they're in trouble. So I think GIANTX trying to get that control now and kind of establish that should make it a bit easier to play through both mid and top.
And denying G2 any of that vision as well means they can look towards the Aatrox. It can be a game killer though, and not in the way you'd want it to be as the team that starts it up. You get all of those resistances shredded through. G2 with hardly any vision at all, aren't going to step too far forward. Labrov, Winter's Bite, doesn't catch Jhin. Decimating Smash comes out, control ward first. GIANTX will start up the Aatrox. And they're going to keep it aggroed for now. Jackie's is on the flank down towards the bottom side. He's spotting out SkewMond. Good double shadowing strike. Jhin can jump across the wall. Aatrox should reset. It runs out of patience. Jackie with the Weaver's Wall. They're going first for Labrov, but the Nature's Path. And Cat's still alive on the backside. Could make this a very sticky situation for GIANTX. Jackie's is already dead, so's Isma, and G2 didn't really have to burn too much to do it.
No, the fact that G2 end up being on the right side of that wall in the grand scheme of things worked out fantastic for them. Better grouped, better frontline access, and now it's over towards the Baron, and I don't think there's much that GIANTX can really do.
Yeah, it just felt a little forced from GIANTX, unwilling to wait out for the next Drake, instead trying to get the Aatrox Baron double combination. But G2 will get the Baron. They'll take this fight as well. Let's have another look, because it was a very odd sequence.
Yeah, because so Jhin has now come out of this equation and he's trying to find a way back in. Lot is now pushing forward and they think, oh, we can make the play with Jackie's, but Jackie's ends up in a really awkward position where he's just in the middle of Broken Blade and Hansama. You've also got Isma, who's on the opposite side of the wall, being shut down by Caps. And Broken Blade then is able to just move in with SkewMond, having that ultimate across everybody.
Yeah, it's a nice placement from Labrov, putting the Unbreakable down to stop the Weaver's Wall, meaning that Jackie's dismounts. I think Jackie's maybe was expecting to go all the way over to Caps and catch him out, which obviously could have changed the whole sequence of events. G2 now with the Baron buff for the next 2 minutes, picked up that Aatrox as well, got all of the... No, they didn't pick up the Aatrox, just went for the Baron and then reset. They're looking for the soul though. 40 seconds before that Drake is up, and the gold has swung back in their favors.
GIANTX trying to move both Pantheon and Taliyah across the midway, but I think, as you say, it's just going to be the Dragon push. Try and see if you can keep GIANTX underneath their own tower and open up as well. The trap line that's already been successfully put down by Hansama is kind of where you're going to fall back to and play behind us.
Oh, Jackie's Broken Blade dashed across the wall here, snuck behind Jackie's, flashes forward, the Voltaic Psycho Sword doing so much work as BB finds a kill. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, another engage with the Magna Storm. Broken Blade's going to TP onto the backside though, as Noah has to cleanse away from SkewMond. Broken Blade joins the fray. I'm not even sure he was needed. He'll take a double out of it. Hansama gets another. Noah's going to fall, and this is it. GIANTX swept away a triple for BB, 11-6 now for G2. Soul on their minds and these tier 1s and tier 2s.
SkewMond did a great job there of getting onto Noah in the back of that fight, because Jackie's was already dead, so by removing Noah from the equation, there was just no damage left in the middle of that clump of people in the river, so Hansama just outperforming in the fight, and G2 outperforming in the rift. You'll see it here as the pick from Broken Blade, really well done. Jackie's thinks he's safe, but ends up finding Aatrox coming in behind him, finishing him off, flash away from the seismic shove as well, and then the finish. But you'll see here as the fight goes on, So the engage comes through, but watch Noah. Immediately SkewMond flashes onto him and just keeps Noah from being able to auto-attack this entire fight. And Sama is free hitting the entire time. Backline, you've also got Broken Blade who's TPing in, Caps there to try and help out as well. So across the board, G2's damage dealers just having a much better time over the last sequence of events.
Yeah, they're really in a good spot overall now. 5,000 gold ahead, and the small contingent of G2 fans are very happy with how this is going. As G2 can now push in through this top side, stop GIANTX from having control of their own jungle, which only a couple of minutes ago is what GIANTX were able to do on the map. And it's a tier 2 remaining on the bot side. G2 don't really want to play around it, instead likely looking for a possible Aatrox if they can somehow find it. Labrov, Glacial Fisher down onto Isma. Will get pulled back with the Infernal Chains. There's the Nature's Glass as well. Lot tanks it up well. A good Weaver's Wall as well from Jackies to dissuade any further engage from G2.
The problem is, though, G2 used a hell of a lot there trying to pick Isma, so GIANTX going to start to move down this mid wave. Should be able to reposition themselves as G2 to cover the play, but you've lost a lot of ground now, especially when you were the ones on the offensive. Isma resetting, has that ultimate to rejoin as well, so I think G2, their kind of passage of play here is done.
I agree with that. I think they won't mind too much. Baron's expired. As you say, they were looking for something but couldn't quite find it. The Glacial Fisher will be up relatively soon. Only Labrov's flash really in terms of big cooldowns used there by G2. For GIANTX, you're beginning to struggle, right? You've got 3 items on your AD carry, but Hansama's overtaken him, is 1,100 gold ahead. Got 2.5 on your mid laner, and you have 2 people who've had to itemize towards healing reduction as well, that Grievous Wounds with the Mortal Reminder and the Oblivion Orb. So everyone just a little bit more delayed than they'd like to be. G2 setting up towards this top side. There was an Aatrox and the Baron up in 2 minutes time. GIANTX unable to really step too far forward, have to, group 4 people in mid if they're going to get any pressure. G2 will start up the Aatrox. Look how quickly it's going down. Already down to 3,000 HP. Ensemble Onslaught coming out. Lot's going to eat up a couple of those Yordle snapshots. The Grand Starfall onto the backline, but Isma is way too deep. Lot's already fallen. GIANTX just can't find a way in. The false life now sitting on G2. Broken Blade with that flank position. Look how much damage the Infernal Soul is doing. Noah dead to a Severing Bolt. Isma's gonna fall as well. Only Jackies and Jhin left alive, and I'm not sure they can stop this advance.
I mean, Jackies was in the base as that Aatrox was going down, and G2 punish effectively as Lot overextends, and now the base gonna fall next.
Seismic shove on a Broken Blade, but he's still got the false life buff. Jhin is dead. Hans is dominating. G2, they have enough minions. They have a tanky enough Maokai to push this one in. The Weaver's Wall blocked again by Labrov. Jackies, ace in the hole, won't be enough to get through the Seraphs, but Broken Blade will. 1-5-1 on this Aatrox. 6-1-3 on this Aatrox in the end, as G2 take the win and even out the series 1-1.
It looked like GIANTX had started to get the better of G2, but just a couple of overforces again and again from GIANTX means G2 find their window and push us to game number 3.